Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 200 of Thrive. 200. And I'll say of Thrive by Additive-Free Lifestyle. However, we weren't always Thrive with Additive-Free Lifestyle. So we've morphed and changed this podcast show as the years have gone on. Currently, it's called Thrive by Additive-Free Lifestyle, but episode 200.
What was it, Trace? We started off with the whole circle.
The whole circle. I think that's actually all it was.
No, then we
circle.
went to
then it was
Additive-Free Lifestyle podcast show. And then we realized it's actually more than an additive-based podcast show. And it is a whole circle of things. So we could have either gone back to that name, but we loved Thrive, didn't we?
And it's just short and snappy and sweet.
Yeah, and it is about thriving. So
yeah,
I feel like it encompasses the whole podcast show up to 200.
I know. So episode 200. All right, let's just dive straight in because we want to try and keep this as a shorty episode. And what we're going to be talking about is traveling additive-free. I have noticed that there are so many people traveling at the moment. My daughters have friends traveling everywhere. I've got people on my Instagram and social media feeds going, I'm going off to here, I'm going off to there. There's been a lot of chitter chatter in our Facebook groups, in our oily groups, as well as our open chat group around I'm heading off here. Can I travel with these? What can I take on a plane, etc.
Even we're traveling, Trace.
We're about to go away on a trip to New Zealand with doTERRA.
Actually, I think when this comes out,
we will have been on the trip.
Well, I actually think we may be on the trip.
On the trip.
Yeah. Anyway,
right, so traveling additive-free. Now, there's a lot of people still in their cars traveling, and there's a lot of people flying traveling. So let's go through both of them. So we'll start off with the car because, you might be traveling just an hour down the road, or you might be traveling 5 hours in your car, whatever that looks like for you. But car trips can be a nightmare to remain additive-free. As we know, we're parents, we've done it. So we wanted to give you some really juicy hints and tips around how to travel additive-free and keep those car trips as less toxic as possible. And I'm talking emotionally, like let's not get, tantrums happening in the back seat if we can help it.
Oh, can I just
you can tell a story.
I just saw the funniest reel only yesterday. And it was something that I needed when we did our trip around Tassie for 5 months. And they had a cardboard cutout between the two children.
Dividing the
Actually, there was 3 kids in the back. So there was a baby in a car seat, maybe a 2-year-old in a car seat. Then there was an older kid in the middle. Then there was the petition wall, like the cardboard wall. And then the son,
that's funny.
Next to that, and they all looked so sad and like over it, and I just thought that's the best.
Yeah, that is the best. All right, so car trips, let's go. And this will relate actually to aeroplanes, but we'll talk about cars first. I've got some notes over here that I'm looking at so I don't forget anything. Loads. So we're on a car trip. Often we'll be leaving quite early in the morning, but I really encourage you to try and have a really decent, hearty breakfast, because if you get into the car hungry, you're going to have this throughout the whole entire car trip. I'm hungry.
And McMuffin does not count.
No, a McMuffin does not count, or a banana or a coffee does not count. But try and have a really decent breakfast if you have time for it, or have something pre-planned the night before that you can have in the car, like a chia pudding or something you could eat in the car maybe not the person driving, but, everybody else. So really good protein-fueled.
Oh my God, I'm butting in so much. I'm so sorry, Tracy. That would be peeing you off. But we often, but whatever.
But
we often
just keep talking, man. Hang on, I'm going to butt in on you.
We often make peanut butter sandwiches the night before.
Yeah, or you often make smoothies as well.
Yeah, we do
in
that
the morning.
Too.
Yeah. So that was on my list as well. So pack a really good lunch the night before, pack breakfast if you need to, pack lots and lots of water and drinks, even like your tea and coffee, so that it keeps the cost down. Have you looked at the price of a coffee at a service station? And I'm pretty confident it's not a good coffee, and I don't even drink coffee. But pack all those things, get them out the night before, have a little cooler bag if you need to, make sure your ice blocks are frozen, blah, blah, blah. All the things I'm probably talking to the converted here. But smoothies are one that people don't think of, and I never thought of until Joe started doing it on our trip around Tassie. So make a smoothie quickly in the morning. You could have the smoothie bag there ready to throw in, and then you're just quickly washing up something or throwing it in the dishwasher and turning it on.
Yeah.
So they're my hints around starting the car trip right. All right. So snacks to bring in the car, or actually maybe not snacks, but how about like decent fuel in the car for your body? Boiled eggs are really handy. Again, a good source of protein and something really easy. You can have them peeled. You can have them prepped in advance.
Man, they stink though.
They do. And I did think that, but
have them
wind the windows down. You don't have to eat them while you're driving. Get out of the car. Stop.
I was going to say, have them at your pit stop.
Yeah. Stop and get out and have a couple of boiled eggs. Zucchini slice is something that we've traveled with a lot because you can, again, eat it on the run and you can pack it with good veggies and heaps of nutrients there. Chicken drumsticks. Joe, butt in anytime you like. Are you reading the same notes that I'm reading?
I'm good. Keep going.
Chicken drumsticks are a good one. Sausages. Again, all of this can be prepped well in advance and frozen. You can get it out the night before or the morning of. And sandwiches, like Joe, protein. Think what you can pack in there. Avocado, chicken, eggs, lettuce, good quality meats. You could have hamburgers. You can eat all of this food cold, which is really, really, some people don't actually realize you can have sausages cold or even burgers cold.
Yeah.
So think of all of those things that you can pack in the car for a good solid lunch again.
Yeah, 100%. We always have our thermos as well. I know you said about tea and coffee, but I'm into
like a
ceremony. Well, yeah, talking about food, you could definitely heat your food up and put it in a thermos if you wanted to. But I always like to have my ceremonial cacao in the car because it does like perk me up a little bit and keeps me awake a little bit as well. And if I need a protein hit, what I'll do is I'll mix the chocolate doTERRA protein powder with the ceremonial cacao and heat that up because you can have protein as a hot drink as well. And your guts just feel so much better. Like, you don't get, I mean, oh my gosh, there's been so many years in the past where we've left early for a camping trip and we have always got Maccas, on the way, and your guts just feels heavy and gurgles, and then you end up with farts in the car and like it just, it's just not good. So if you can have better food, you will have a much nicer trip as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on that, so you could make protein pancakes as well, and you could have them cold in the car too. So that would be another really good snack instead of sandwiches. If people are like, I don't want a sandwich, you could take some protein pancakes as well, which would be really great. And then you've got obviously all your snacks, like how much fruit is already pre-packaged for us? Apples, bananas, oranges. Like they've already got a packaging around them. We don't have to do anything. You could slice the oranges. You could have the apples sliced as well. But things like that, and one of the things with traveling, like I remember kids in the car and even myself as a child, you kind of get bored. And so then you want to eat. So at least if we're handing them things like oranges or apples or fruit, then it's that rather than chips and chocolate and junk, there's that less chance of having, an additive reaction in the car as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What other snacks would you pack? Plain crackers, popcorn?
Yeah, we've got loads of ideas for snacks in our camping cookbook as well. And if you have, bliss balls, if you've got a bit of time, like be prepared as well. I think we've got peanut butter dates, which is just a matter of putting peanut butter in the middle of a date and we've dipped them in dark chocolate, which is really nice as a sweet treat rather than having lollies in the car. Gummy lollies, which is another hit of protein. I'm just trying to think what else we have in the camp.
If you can tolerate nuts and almonds and things like that, then they're really great as well because they're proteins and they keep us a little bit fuller. And they're just that little snack that you can snack on. Pretzels are really good as well, just as a little snack.
Yeah, making your own trail mix too.
Yeah.
And if you are buying things like trail mix, just look out for MSG on the ingredients. I was quite shocked actually when we were traveling around Tassie. I bought some trail mix thinking, oh, it'll be fine. And it was so delicious that I was like, why is this so yum? And then I looked at the ingredients and it was packed with MSG. So make sure you look out for the flavor enhancer as well.
Yeah.
The other thing that isn't on your list, Trace, is it might be down the bottom and I haven't got to it yet. Oh, it is oils to travel with. Let's talk about that later.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yes. This is
all right. So that's for the car.
This is Joe not planning, like not reading the notes.
Hey, I have planned many podcasts in the past. Thanks very much. Okay.
Flying.
Yeah.
Flying's a different thing. Long haul flights and short flights. So when you fly, a lot of people don't realize, but your digestive system actually constricts in, like it gets compressed. So the plane, the altitudes, all of those. So your digestive system actually like works differently when you're in a plane. And it slows right down. It becomes really sluggish, and often you'll be constipated. And you've probably noticed this, but never really put it all together. So often we fly and then we're a little bit longer to head to the toilet than we normally are. So think of things that can help your digestive system when you're flying. So we want lots and lots of fluids, lots and lots of like fresh fruit and watery fruits like watermelon and strawberries and blueberries and rock melon, like lots of those sort of watery fruits. To one, hydration is really important when you're flying. So lots of water, but lots of fruits that can help hydrate our body at the same time, and also help our like sluggish digestive system, because they're going to go through pretty easy. So those types of things are really great, especially on long haul flights. And you're probably sitting there going, but I can't take food on a plane. Something that I heard years ago, you can take whatever you like on a plane. It's what you take off the plane that's the problem. Mm-hmm. So if you are going into an area where you know you can't take fruit, AKA every time I fly to Tasmania, it's what you'd bring off the plane that is the problem. I can start the flight with fruit. I just need to eat it all or declare it when I get to the other end. So don't worry about packing food on an aeroplane. You can pack whatever you like to take to eat. And it's so much better than the plain food. I'm pretty confident we all know that. Mm-hmm. So yes, I think about that, because we get a lot of questions. Can I take this? Yeah, you can take anything you like onto the plane. You just might not be able to take it off the plane, mm-hmm. or declare it, like eat it or declare it into the bins that they have at those places.
It's so cool. Like you actually feel really good when you do mm-hmm. get organized. And mm-hmm. I know that often coming home, we're not as organized because we've been on holidays and we don't have our kitchen. And so you get off the plane and you feel totally different, because you do rely on airplane food and chips and chocolate and
or you've paid like $14 for 3 bliss balls in a bag or something. Crazy.
Yeah. So no, I love that.
And if I know I'm only going for a couple of days, there's sometimes I will pack enough to then bring home with me, especially if I know I'm going to an Airbnb where there will be a fridge, or somewhere. Like even most hotels have a little bar fridge as well. So I will pack like 6 bliss balls so I can eat 3 on the way over and 3 on the way back. And even like a bag of little chips, or like I really love those almond, I can't think of the name of the brand, but they're like an almond chip. So they're almonds. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're quite expensive, but I will often buy a bag of those to take on an aeroplane. And then I'll buy 2 so I can have one on my flight home as well. So long haul flights, think hydration. And then good foods. And pretty much the list we've just said above in the car. When we flew to America a couple of years ago, I had me and my husband and 2 like older teenage kids, 16 and 18. And we didn't rely on airport food at all on the way over, nor on the way back, because we'd stayed in an Airbnb. So we could be prepared to come home as well. And on the way over, I packed zucchini slice for everybody. And I'd made them into sort of little mini muffin size so I could just hand them out. And I packed us a really good chicken salad. And we had loads of fruit as well. And because each of us had a little carry-on bag. And so every one of us had a lunchbox, couldn't think of the words, and a cooler pack. And we used it the whole trip. So when we'd go to somewhere, we'd take a lunchbox with our cooler bag, with our ice block in it, which we would refreeze at every Airbnb we stayed at, or even hotel. So it became really handy, and it kept our costs down for the entire trip, not just the flight over and the flight back. But we flew with a chicken salad, some zucchini slice, water as much as we were allowed, and then we had to rely on airplane water, and snacks, which were mostly fruits and a couple of little sort of crunchy snacks like nuts and some plain chips. But it was awesome. And we got off that plane after, I don't know, it was something like 15 or 18 hours or something. And we all felt amazing. So it's definitely doable.
Yeah, 100%. So talking about water, obviously when you're going international, you can't take water into the airport. So what we do is we travel with our little travel water filter, and then we fill it up when we're at the tap and let it drain, and then pour it into our drink bottle. So you don't have to be buying water either. The little water filters will pop into the show notes, and you can go check it out there. We've got a link for you, and they're amazing. I just couldn't. Oh, I think I forgot it recently wherever we were, Trace. And I lost the plot. Like, it wasn't good. It was it was a big realization as to how much I rely on that little travel water filter. So good.
Yeah. And it is handy in an airport. Like, even the they have like the cooler, like when you're at school, what are they, like the water fountains, I guess they're called in airports, and they tasted awful. It tasted like toilet water. Like, it was disgusting. So take your water filter. Like Joe said, we've got a code on our website as well, a discount code. So we'll link all of that in. Obviously check with your airline. Clearly check with your airline still. And we're in Australia. So if you're listening to this overseas, sometimes our domestic flights, we can actually take full bottles of water. We can take all sorts of things domestically, but just depending on the country you're in, just obviously check with your local country as well.
Yeah.
It might be different to us here in Australia. Oils. All right, let's move on to oils we travel with, because this is a big one and something we would never not travel with, just like our water filter jug.
No. I want to say, disclaimer, when it comes to essential oils on an aeroplane, I am very respectful of people around me. And so I tend to put my oils on before I get on the plane, so I'm not opening them on the plane. And if I do open them on the plane, I tend to more use them aromatically. So I'll sit there with the bottle and I'll take the lid off and I'll just hold it under my nose rather than sort of tipping it on myself. And I just think that that's just respectful to those around me.
Yeah.
You know, more than anything else. When it comes to the car, I definitely have a travel diffuser in the car. You can get them from the doTERRA website. And just put whatever oils you want in the car. Sometimes it might be balanced to calm the damn farm, or it might be uplifting if we're getting tired and we just need that little perk me up of some peppermint and citrus bliss, or any citrus oils for that matter. And then for travel sickness, well, Tracy's probably the best one to talk on this because you're a little spewhead, is peppermint. The Tamer, Kids Tamer blend is awesome because that's got spearmint in it. Ginger, spearmint itself. I like oils that are quite calming and grounding when I'm flying, because I'm a bit of a nervous flyer, although I don't have as many nerves anymore, which is awesome because I had tapping done, and that's a whole nother podcast. So I feel like my fear of flying is almost gone, which is just completely life-changing. But I certainly use Siberian fir is probably my favorite. Even the Peace blend, which is your reassuring blend, that does smell quite strong. So
it does.
I'm mindful as to how much I use that on an aeroplane.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm mindful of what I use around me, although I will spray the hand sanitizer, and that can have like I will be like, especially on a long haul flight, anytime you've used an aeroplane toilet or an airport toilet, taking the hand sanitizer on the plane. Or the beadlets are really handy too, Joe. You know, the tiny little beadlets. So if I don't have enough hand sanitizer, I will take the On Guard beadlets and I can pop one in my hand. And again, that's just my little personal space. Like, yes, I reckon the person next to me would probably smell it, but I don't know that it would travel much further than that. Maybe the person in front and behind, but the little beadlets are awesome, and you can get them in On Guard and peppermint as well. And like Joe said, peppermint is so good for motion sickness, headaches, head tension, migraines, anything like that you might suffer from on an aeroplane.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, the beadlets are great. The kids collection,
I'll tell a funny story. Is we were heading, I think it might have been Fiji or Vietnam for a doTERRA incentive trip. So the plane was chock with doTERRA people. And there was that much damn past tense being put on, and there was oils going everywhere.
Really strong oils.
The air hostess came over and was like, "We've had some complaints, so we would like you to stop using the essential oils, please." Which I think was fair enough because, I mean, it was getting full on. Even Tracy and I looked at each other and were like, can everyone stop using their oils? But anyway, that's just a bit of a funny story.
Yeah. But it is good to be mindful. Like, I cannot stand if someone sits next to me with really strong perfume. Oh my God, that would be my worst absolute nightmare because I would be feeling sick so quickly. And it's happened to me in the airport. And I'm like, oh, please don't. Like, you might be lining up to get on the plane. I'm like, please don't sit next to me because I can smell their perfume from a mile away. Yeah. So to me, that would be the same. Like, be respectful of what oils you are using because they can be strong and some people are going to react differently to the next person. So, yeah. But also don't not use them as well if you need to. And I've handed peppermint out on a plane. There was a lady on a long haul flight that I was on and she was suffering really badly from motion sickness. And she was quite a few rows behind me. I didn't realize. And I went up to the toilet and I could see her with an hostess and I could tell what was going on. You can tell what's going on. So I got to the toilet, used that, came back. She was still not well with the hostess there. And I said to her, look, I've got some peppermint. Would you mind? Would you be open to using that? And she was like, look, I'll try anything. So I went back to my seat, grabbed my peppermint oil, took it up to her, and she came and thanked me later, like, because it was a long haul flight, right? We're, an hour later. And she was like, oh my God, that was so good. Like, thank you so much, because it calmed her right down really, really quickly. So don't be scared to use your oils. Don't be scared to offer them around if people are around you, especially on long haul flights. She was able to suffer less from motion sickness, which was really great.
Yeah.
But Jo, you touched on the kids collection before. That is such a good collection to travel with because when you look at what's inside each of those little roller bottles, there's some really great oils for all sorts of random things. So I love traveling with the kids collection. And it's really neat and compact and really easy. There's oils to help me go to sleep. There's oils I can wear as a perfume. There's oils that can help with motion sickness. There's oils that can help sanitize my hands. Like, there's so many great oils in that kids collection as a collection. So always travel with that.
Yeah, it's a good one. We're going to pop all of these in the show notes as well. So head over to additiveFreelifestyle.com/podcast 200 because it's all good to listen to this. You might be driving yourself right now. You don't have a pen and paper. And and you're like, I can't remember all of this. Just go to the show notes and you can have a read and
And if you even forget the show note number, episode 200, just put in podcast, like traveling or something, and it should come up. Lip gloss, I never travel without. The doTERRA lip gloss is awesome. I love traveling with a hand cream, especially on long haul flights. And the rose lotion is great. Even I have used the rose lotion, hand lotion on my face, on my hands, on my legs. It's really, really great to travel with as well because you just get dry. Like on an aeroplane, it's so drying.
Do you know the other thing that's really good, which I've never done before because I didn't know about it, you only know what you know, is lymphatic drainage as well, especially on long haul flights, even domestic flights as well, is take your gloves. So go and have a listen. I'm not sure what podcast number it is, but to the lymphatic drainage podcast we did with Chelsea Jean. And just like giving yourself that lymphatic drainage, even on the plane, just head to the toilet for a couple of minutes. You give yourself, a good go because that will really get your body circulating as well.
And if you're not comfortable to do it on a plane sitting next to someone beside you wondering what the hell you're doing, lymphatic drainage, then just before and after, like make sure you do really good drainage before you get on the plane, so earlier that morning, and then when you get to your hotel or accommodation or home, even coming home, make sure you do it again that night to really get your lymphatic system moving.
How good is a shower when you get off the plane? Oh, so good, especially long haul flights. It's like the best thing in the whole world. It's like after you have an operation and you're all like dirty, you're just having that first shower. Oh, it's just so good. Anyway, off topic.
Would never travel without my Virage and Yarrow Pom. Lemon is another one I always travel with. If I can't filter my water, at least I can add a drop of lemon to make it taste a little bit nicer. And it's really good for your digestive system as well. And our diffuser, as Jo touched on before. Would never travel without a diffuser. We've got little portable ones that we have in our homes. There's lots of different sizes diffusers, but grab a tiny little diffuser. There's multiple places, doTERRA obviously, but just anywhere, and always travel with a diffuser. And here's why. I'm in a hotel room. I want my hotel room to smell like my bedroom at home or to remind me of home. And because our sense of smell is so linked to our core memories and our, basically our core memories, like they're linked to that. So if I can create an environment that smells like my home, that resembles my home, that reminds me of my home, my brain will go into that sort of state of mind unconsciously. We don't even know we're doing it to be more like I'm at home. So when I put my oils on that I use at night religiously here at home, when I do that same thing when I'm away, your brain will have that core memory. Oh, this means sleep. This means rest. This means relax. And even in a hotel room. So, and that's how our brains work with the oils, which is really, really powerful. So think of those things that you can do when you're in a hotel.
It's so relaxing, isn't it? Like when you have that on and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm safe. It's all good. Yeah.
And I've realized recently how much fake fragrance, like because we weren't allowed to travel for so long, right? I forgot how bad hotels were and how fragrant they were. And I got really quite sick after traveling to Melbourne for the convention because everywhere we went, you were like sprayed with some type of fragrance. It was awful. And
I'm going to have to answer my door, Trace, but you finished the episode off. I'm so sorry.
Joe's got someone coming to our house. So here we go. But yeah, I was really, really reminded of how fragranced everything was. And for someone that doesn't use it in their home anymore, it became like I actually got quite sick from it. So, and I could tell like my nose went snuffly. I reacted really badly to the fragrances. So having that diffuser in my room, being able to make it smell more like home was helpful to me. And then when I got home, obviously lots and lots of lymphatic drainage and just kind of flushed my body out from all those toxins. So that is the wrap up of our traveling Additive-Free podcast show. Joe's obviously disappeared from me. But head to episode 200. Make sure to like, save, share, and this podcast episode or any of our podcast episodes in the past, and go back and listen to some that you may not have listened to. It might not have resonated with you at the time, but it might now. So make sure to go back and have a good look through all the podcast shows that we've done, because obviously there are 200 of them out there now.
It's so cool. I'm back. Sorry, I've left him to measure up my patio while I finish this off. But the other thing I thought of, Trace, I know you've closed this podcast off, but the other thing I did think of is the Terrazyme and how lovely that is for our digestive system. Because when we're away, we generally don't eat like we do at home, even though we try as much, we don't. We eat out more, which is more MSG and less water and different environment and different pollutions. And like you said, the fragrance and all of that affects our gut health and digestive system. So if we can take a Terrazyme, which is a digestive enzyme tablet, you can get these with doTERRA, it just helps our digestive system every meal. And it's something that I haven't been perfect at in the past, but I am going to try and really perfect this in New Zealand when we travel and see how much that it can help me in my digestive system, because I really do bloat up a lot when we're away, and just even like lack of sleeping. And, there's so many different things that all affect our digestive system. So that's something that I'm definitely going to make an effort to do when we're away this coming trip.
Yeah, I mean, we never touched on the supplements at all, but there is a wide range of supplements that could be definitely another episode as well, on things that can help whilst we're traveling, but also just help our everyday, right? So MetaPower, there's so many that we could touch on. Yeah. All right, we will close this one off though, because we were trying to keep it short and sweet. Normally it's I that ramble on and do all the talking. So I'm glad it was Joe this time.
All right.
Thanks,
see you
everyone.
later, guys.
Bye.